Okay, welcome back to Canadians Leading with Impact. Kevin Crone here with Troy Treleaven, and we're excited about our guest today, Rick McCutcheon. Rick, it's great to have you. I know you've had 25 years of experience in the Microsoft partner ecosystem. That's how we've gotten to know you over the years through your trusted advisory to us and to many others, and it's been awesome partnering and knowing you for all these years. You have a passion about helping your partners in the Dynamics 365 system world, and that's been your world for such a long time. And you're also a host of Partner Talks, which is a weekly LinkedIn kind of like talk show podcast within that whole realm. You talk to business leaders about their business insights, ideas, and best practices. And we thought it'd be great to have you on our podcast talking about business and how to succeed today right
Mhm.
here in this market in Ontario and Canada. And so, welcome to Canadians Leading with Impact, Rick.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Troy, for having me on your show.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's our pleasure. And as Kevin says, we're talking to leaders about how do they lead with impact and what is working today and what are you seeing? And you're on the edge of a lot of business, especially, well, I guess with dynamic sales type things, but there's more than that to it. What are you seeing is really making a difference out there, Rick?
Well, this is a Dale Carnegie focused conversation, so why don't we start there?
Okay.
It's
Sure.
about it was about relationships 30 years ago or 35 years ago when I picked up the Dale Carnegie book for the first time, right?
Hmm.
And read it. And I go, this makes sense, right? It's about relationships. And today it's still about relationships.
Hmm.
Even though we get caught up in, the AI, we get caught up in digital, and we're here on a digital format today. I still do business through relationships.
Hmm.
And the people I know in my world, and I'm in this world called business applications within the Microsoft ecosystem. And maybe I'll explain that first. But
Yeah.
in Microsoft, there's different types of dealers or what we call partners, and they resell Microsoft products. And I'm going to say 95% of Microsoft products are sold through a dealer. Whether it's you going into a Best Buy and buying Windows or dealing with, the local computer dealer on the corner or
Hmm.
working with a massive company like Hitachi and Avanade who have thousands of consultants helping with Microsoft products. That's how Microsoft goes to market. So inside of that world of Microsoft that going to market, there's probably, I'm going to guess, 30,000 people that do business applications. And when we think about business applications, my background is CRM, and I'm a CRM consultant and
Mhm.
what they call an MVP in the Microsoft world. But also there's ERP, so accounting systems, warehouse management systems, and we used to call enterprise resource planning. Those are the partners that we make our living. We sell some Microsoft licenses, but we really make our living off of professional services. So that's the ecosystem I've been involved with for just over 25 years now. And I've got relationships from all over the world from that ecosystem because I network. I try to meet
Mhm.
more people. I look to people and I find people interesting, and I want them to talk about them and stuff we learned back in the good old days when we first started our first Dale Carnegie training. But that's what makes me successful and a lot of successful to people today in my world. And I'm not saying there's people that don't want relationships and want everything digital. There's a lot of successful people that way too, but I think doing it my way is a lot more fun.
Mm. It's like an old school building relationships, networking, not without purpose or strategy, of course,
Mhm.
but the versus just that kind of digital marketing.
I'll give you an example of a new customer I just signed up.
Hmm.
So, what I do is I have my Partner Talk show, which is a weekly talk show where I interview Microsoft partners about their business, and that gets me sort of plenty of footage. Well, there's about 6 or 8 major conferences around the world that these Microsoft partners meet at.
Mm.
And I end up being a what they call a media sponsor because Dale Carnegie taught me to go and talk to the guy who owns the conference to say, "Hey, do you need a media sponsor?" Right? So I do interviews for the conference, and at a recent one in Poland, I actually did some interviews going into the conference for them to support the conference, but on the conference floor for the first time. Worked out really, really well. But the new customer I met was a guy walking up to the conference with me on Monday morning. We're carrying our knapsacks with our computers in it, walking to the conference, and the door was locked. So how the hell do we get in here? So him and I had to walk all the way around the conference center, and I talked to him about his business and who he was and what he did. And I'm just going to sign a contract with him now, right? You
Amazing.
know, and
Yeah.
and that's what it's all about. It's
Mm,
about meeting people and not trying to sell them anything. It's about meeting people and finding out who they are and what they do,
Mm.
right? Tell me about yourself. And then you start a
uh,
conversation and you see if you have something in common. And again, I go back to my Dale Carnegie training because that's what you guys and that Dale Carnegie organization taught me early
mm.
on.
Mm.
It's funny because I appreciate you saying that and referencing Dale Carnegie's help. Kevin and I talking earlier this week, and we go, do we make it too complicated? Kevin and I are talking to each other. We're going like, to people like to us, we think, relationships, but you say it so clearly, so simply, and you have some evidence for it. Where do people get bluffed out with that idea, or do they? I don't know. To us, it's we want to make it more complicated how Dale Carnegie is, but you're saying it's communication, connecting with people is.
Absolutely. Here's another good example. I'll go back to my trade show. So I do
Hmm,
some coaching for these partners. So I do my show, and then I help them with their CRM processes and business development processes. And I'll be working as a sales coach sometimes with their salespeople. And I'm
hmm,
standing in a booth and it's not busy. And there's 100 booths on this floor full of salespeople standing around. I
hmm.
says, why don't you guys go talk to the other salespeople when it's not busy? And they
Yeah.
kind of look at me, well, why would I want to do that?
Hmm,
I go, well, they might have a referral for you. And it's good to open up, like, know everybody on this floor. And people
hmm,
come to me and they say, Rick, you know everybody.
Mm.
I says, yeah, because when it's not busy, I go talk to these guys and I go talk to these guys, right? And that's
Mm.
what it is. It's just getting out there and talking to people about what they do,
Mm.
hmm.
right? And then to see, hey, is there any way I can help you?
Mm.
Huh.
Yeah, that's it's becoming genuinely interested in others versus trying to get others interested in you. If I was to keep going with the Dale Carnegie, theme there, we see, trying to see, and you probably do too. I mean, you make this, like Troy says, sound simple and practical as a way to build your business, and um, but you probably, and what you're describing in your example there is not not everybody's kind of wired that way, right?
Hmm,
Like businesses or their salespeople aren't necessarily wired like
hmm.
you are, right? And um,
Because they didn't read the book, Kevin.
It's
maybe
that simple.
not, maybe not, maybe not. Uh, yeah, maybe they should. The book is, if we're gonna call it, is How to Win Friends and Influence People, and
Yes.
what you're
Yeah.
talking about. I always have a copy close by there.
That's the book.
Yeah, because it's
Mine's
funny.
got the real old cover on it.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, that's real. Do you have it in your here?
No, it's not in this room. I couldn't grab it. But
It looks
yeah,
like that.
That's a
there's the
real
one
old
I
one.
read,
Yeah, that's
right?
the old one, man.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
1936 version, and this
Yeah.
is the updated for this.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
this came
Yeah.
out, just came out as a
Yeah.
revised. You know,
Mhm.
some
But
some
that's important and I think more so than ever because nobody talks on their phone, they text on their phone, right?
Mm,
And I think that And I keep an eye on people when I'm out there, and who's the up and comers in my world? And the
Mm.
up and the comers in my world are the ones that are networking, right? They're at the show, walking around, talking to people,
Huh.
and they're just well known, or they're looking for opportunities to do a presentation. They're
Mm.
looking for opportunities to volunteer.
Huh.
Like that's a big thing in my world. Like I actually with Microsoft, I helped Microsoft set up the user groups in
Huh.
Canada for our products. This is
Mm.
like 2010, right?
Wow.
And I was out doing it and I tried to get some other dealers to help me do it. They weren't interested in it, right?
Hmm.
And I'm thinking, well, why wouldn't we want to know everybody who uses our products and that type of thing. So I think I
Hmm.
had a natural tendency to think the more people I know and the more people I can help,
Hmm.
then life's going to get easier for me.
Yeah. Wow. Rick, you remind me of we have a colleague who's out in Alberta, and during COVID, what he did, and he's I'll say he's on his later part of his career. Let's say that
Mhm.
he's into his later 60s. And instead of doing a lot of people do on LinkedIn, post about, here's what we do, and here's well, they'll use client examples, but they'll do all sorts of things to pro. He didn't post anything. All he did was he started connecting with people he'd known over the years, and he just asked the simple question, "How are you?" And he really listened, and he inquired. He says, "Is the work going okay? Is your job okay? I saw you change companies. What's that place like? How's it different?" And all he did, well, in that, I can't think it was 2021, he did close to $1 million just through LinkedIn reachbacks, like connecting back with people. Never asked for anything. He just offered just to what you said, like volunteer, give service. Is that part of it? Is it, what do you put that down to? Law of
So,
reciprocity? I don't know why
you
do
know,
people
back when
respond?
we started our careers, there was no LinkedIn. In
Hmm.
fact, I remember someone handing me a telephone book and saying,
Yeah. Yeah.
here's your customer base. Go
Right.
find them." Right. So it was a lot harder. If I was a sales rep starting out today and someone handed me LinkedIn, it was like, wow, all the fish are in the
Bonus.
bowl, right?
Yeah.
They're all there. And I'm going to give you a really good example about the attitude on LinkedIn. Some
Hmm.
people connect to you, and the first thing they try to do is, here's the 12 things I can sell you,
Hmm.
right? Or they don't even wait. They just, here's the 12 things I can sell you. Let's
Yeah.
connect.
Mm,
It doesn't work,
Hmm.
mm,
right? Your friend going out and saying, "Hey, how you doing? What's new?" That's what works. You know what
Hmm.
else? Here's another secret I'm going to give everybody.
Hmm.
On LinkedIn, when you get a notice that somebody's now open to work, that
mm,
Hmm.
means they probably lost their job.
mm,
Hmm.
I'm the first guy to send them a note saying, "Hey, why don't we have a call next week or
Wow.
today if you need to have a
Huh.
call?"
mm,
Right? I want to talk to them
mm,
because if they quit, they're happy, right? And if they didn't quit and let go, they're probably, not
Upset.
happy.
Yeah.
And if it's somebody
Scared.
I've done business with and I have a trusting relationship with them, I'll just say, anybody you see I'm connected to, let me know. I'll do an intro,
Amazing.
right?
mm.
And you would be amazed at how few people reach out to these people when they get let go.
Wow.
Mm.
And guess
Never
what?
thought of that. Yeah.
90% of the time, they're going to land in another job in that category again.
Mm.
Hmm.
All
Right.
right. So, again, I don't know if that's in the book I read from Dale Carnegie. I don't think he talked about what to do on LinkedIn,
No.
but
You
it's
missed that
it's
one.
not that, it's the mindset.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's the mindset about what can I do to help you,
Yeah.
right? And then you're going to find there's other people that'll tell you all kinds of things that you
Hmm.
can help them with, but never help you, right? And you
Yeah.
just kind of ease away from them, but you're going to
Sure.
find what I call helpers. And,
Wow.
I'm working in this Microsoft ecosystem for, 20 odd years now, and there's hundreds of thousands of people that work for Microsoft.
Mm,
Not all of them are helpers that are going to help me get ahead,
Hmm.
sure.
but I've probably found, I'm going to say 20 helpers in
Hmm.
my career that have changed everything
Wow.
because they probably read the book too. I don't know. But they just connected with me.
Mm,
We liked what we had to do. We found how we could help each other, and then we worked together. And
mm.
it just changes everything,
Yeah.
right? Once you find the right people who can help you. But you
Wow.
can't go in with the attitude is this is what I want you to do for me. You got to
Yeah.
start with what can I do for you?
Hmm.
Wow.
Amazing.
Harvey McKay wrote a book on networking years ago. He wrote a bunch of books. I think the famous one was Swim with the Sharks Without Being Eaten Alive, but he wrote one
Without being
called
live, yes.
Dig
I
Your
read it in
Well Before.
kindergarten, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. The book I'm thinking about is he called Dig Your Well Before You're Thirsty, and it's about networking, is what you said. And the time to network is now. It's when we're not in that unfortunate situation where our job's been we've been kicked out of our job. It's the time
Yes.
is now. And
That's an extremely good point, right? Like, you wanna have an ecosystem of people. Seth Godin, the marketing guy, calls it your tribe. Who's
mm,
in your tribe? You
yeah,
gotta know everybody in your tribe, right? If you don't have a tribe, you're in trouble,
Mm.
right? Because who are the people that are going to be there to support you and work with you? And
right.
I'm lucky that I read the book, but that also I found this world of Microsoft partners that all work together. And
Yeah.
once I found that, I said, this is great. Here's something I have in common with these, 30,000 business application partners. I said, this is really cool. We all have that in common. And guys, I have friends on every country in the world because of it, because I go to these international conferences and, you know, start
Right.
talking to people, right? And
Yeah,
and
yeah.
understanding what's going on. And again, you're right. It's mindset and it's more valuable than anything else that we can give people. Anybody can go earn a college degree or a university degree, right? Go get a certification in some technology. But it's a different mindset for the ones that,
Mm,
what Earl Nightingale, who lead the field,
yeah,
right? Who is
yeah,
going to lead the field? And that was written back in like 1960, and
yeah.
the cassette tapes were around for years. And it's if anybody can go listen to it on YouTube, right? It's on YouTube now. It's the examples are old, but everything he talks about is relevant. Like
So
who
true.
is going to lead the field? And one of the things he said is it doesn't matter what business you're in, the top 10% of those people in that business are extremely successful,
Mm,
right? So I could be in the painting business. I could be in selling microphones. I could be, going out doing CRM systems like I am, but there's good in every business. It's
mm.
all about the attitude.
Mm.
The attitude and the work ethic. We got to put the work ethic in there too, right?
Yeah,
Because it's
right.
not just about believing, it's about believing and doing,
Yeah,
which I
yeah.
think is another book he actually wrote that had more to do with that.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. More of the attitude, managing our attitude to right. It's funny. I'm listening to you guys talk. Right. We're talking about classic, and I think Rick and we were talking about this when we were chatting a little while ago. We talk about our thought leaders from years gone by, Earl Nightingale's, Seth Godin's, and the Dale Carnegie's, and all this kind of timeless wisdom. That it almost to me, it's like it seems to have been lost in today's market. It's like who
Mm.
where are people getting, their guidance, their wisdom, their thought leadership, uh,
TikTok.
Yeah, right.
getting lost on TikTok, right? Like,
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So when I'm meeting young people, I'm sure they're looking at me like, who is this guy? Right? I talk about, especially when I'm doing sales coaching, I said, you got two ways to look at this.
Mm,
Is this your job or is this your career?
mm,
mm,
Right? And every job you should look at it that way, right? I'm in
mm,
sales as a career,
mm,
right? I'm going to be the best I can be at
mm,
this. And if I'm selling Microsoft technology, sure, I've got to be a good salesperson, but I have to understand a whole lot about this technology and in my free time, read about it, go to webinars, sit in meetings, understand it because I want to be at the next level, right?
Mm,
So are we looking at this as your job or are you looking at it as your career? People who have jobs can't wait to retire.
mm,
People who have careers kind of plan on retirement, but it's not like the end goal to
right.
life, right?
Mm.
And that's a big part of it too, is find what you love, do what you love, and make a career out of it.
Love
Right on. Troy, are you thinking about Jim Rohn right now? Is that
it. Yeah.
the Jim
A few
Rohn
times
quote?
today he's come up, yeah,
Maybe
in
that's
this
where I heard it.
conversation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Do you want to do
Yeah.
the quote? You do the quote.
You do the quote. It's more top of mind for you.
I think we say this all the time. You remember Jim Rohn, Rick? Like, do you,
Yes.
when I got in the business, almost 30 years ago, we, Troy and I, and all of us, we would consume everything we could, right? Like anything for inspiration, wisdom, and help us be successful in sales, and Jim Rohn was just the greatest and business philosopher. And we'll never forget his kind of parent idea was what you're talking about, Rick, is if you work hard in your job, you'll do well. But if you work hard on yourself, you'll make a
Yeah,
fortune.
that's right.
In the Jim
That's true.
Rohn
Yeah. Yeah.
quote.
Work harder on yourself than you do in your job. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
it seems that 20 years ago we had a lot of gurus
Yeah.
talking about self-help.
Mm.
Yeah.
Now I think everybody's listening to politics and
Mm. Mm.
they go down that rat hole,
Interesting.
right?
Mm,
And they spend their time with that in their minds where they should
Mm.
really be going and listening to some old Jim Rohn tapes or
Yeah.
Earl Nightingale or read the Dale Carnegie courses or something, right? Put
yeah.
that in your mind because you won't care about the other stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say you won't care. You'll understand that it's there and it's happening, but you
Mm,
won't let it sort of take over your life.
What
mm,
a good point. Yeah, if that's all that's in there, there's more chaos, more frustration, more anxiety.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're feeding it with something healthy, you're just a different human when you're interacting with other people. You see more
Yes.
possibilities, you're more optimistic. It's
And I think if you've been through the training we've all been through, you become aware, right? Even
mm,
though, I had a bad week and nothing closed or I lost a customer, you
mm,
get down, right?
wow,
But as soon as Monday happens and somebody comes out of the blue and signs a contract that you never thought was going to happen,
right?
go, right? It's in
Right.
your mind. So I was going through a bunch of proposals that I had from last year.
Hmm,
And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at this one proposal. I'm going, I use a Adobe sign, so I'll send it up with a reminder to people. I go, I'm not going to send it to this lady. She wasn't interested. And I started talking myself down.
yeah.
And I said, but I'm aware, right? And I'm going, the hell you doing? Who cares?
yeah.
Click,
Yeah.
resent it. This morning I came up, guess what? The top of my email, boom, signed
Mm,
contract,
beautiful.
right? So we even talk ourselves out of it, right?
Yeah.
So emotions got a lot to do with it, but I think we'll go back to goal setting. What are your goals, right?
Yeah.
What are your goals for 2026? What do you want to be able to do? Where do you want to get to? And I remember back in the day, they wanted us to have goal cards, right?
Hmm,
And Bob Proctor wanted us to carry our gold card
that's
in our
right.
pocket and read it several
Yeah.
times a day. And I think Zig Ziglar was telling us to do
Yeah.
that too, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, you got to stay focused and say, okay, forget these. Get what's in your mind that she doesn't want to buy this contract. Send it, try, do it
Yeah.
again, right? That type of thing. And I think all that training we had over the years prepares us for that and gives
Mm,
us the tools. And I'm just afraid that a lot of people today don't invest in this type of learning
Mm.
mm.
or don't or are not aware. They're not aware they should be investing in this.
Right. Right. I think that's what it is. It's like an awareness that So anybody listening to this, any young, aspirational careerist,
Mm.
certainly if so many leaders that we're talking to on this podcast or just every day, what they all have in common is saying people are, you could have a great career today,
Mm.
make, great living if you really become an amazing salesperson. And that lost art, I mean, it's a dying thing.
Mm.
And yet here you are, very successful business advisory and business, and it's the core of your business is just being authentically interested in others, seeing how you can add value to others in any way
Yeah.
possible. Surely it can't be that easy. It's such a yeah, surely there's got to be more modern approaches to sales than that. But they're saying invest. Um, anyone can have a great career if you invest in yourself, and
And look at it as a career. This is
Mm.
not a job. This is a career. I'm going
mm,
to be doing this. I'm not doing this because I can't get another job. I'm doing this because this is a great career.
mm,
Right. What I'm inspired by listening to you, Rick, is here's a guy who's in the heart of the IT world where a lot people that get attracted to it, they're kind of techie, right? Perhaps in some roundabout way. And maybe the salespeople aren't as much, but it's still like you think, oh, I'll just rely on my tools. And they're great tools, right? Kevin and I use lots of great tools. You need the tools, but that they forget what you've just talked about is that humanness, that attitude of it's a career, that hard work ethic, and that network. If you can do all those things, tools will support you, but
mm,
uh, it's that other stuff that distinguishes
I'll
us.
tell you another story about attitude. Okay.
Mm.
So I was back when I got involved in technology before, like I'm a guy from the West End of Windsor, you know,
Hmm.
oh
there,
yeah,
I didn't come up through any, you know, special training or get to any Ivy League school, right? So, I was selling time management systems. Okay.
Hmm.
wow,
And remember those binders to help you manage time?
yeah,
Because I
Oh
was
yeah.
learning all this goal setting stuff. And I
yeah,
said time management was great. So I'm selling time binders and stuff. And then a friend of mine, I don't know, you know Mark Elwood, he does the time quarter stuff. He's been around. He'd be a good guy to get on your show. He says, I saw a piece of software that does that now
yeah,
and it'll track all your sales leads and everything else. I says, oh, this was an early CRM system. So I went out and I found the company and I started looking, started using their stuff. And I said, you know what? I'd really like to sell this instead of the time binders.
mm,
And
Wow.
because I started looking, I'm walking down Young Street,
mm,
okay, and there was a old bookstore right on Young Street, right near where the old bay was.
Hmm.
And in the front of the store was PC Magazine with the review of the top 10 software programs for salespeople.
Huh.
mm,
I says, oh, that's what I'm looking for. I went there, picked it up, I read, I wrote to every one of those companies saying, I want to be your Canadian dealer.
Wow.
wow,
Yeah. And this was all attitude. This is all the Dale Earl Nightingale stuff, right?
yeah,
Just attitude, just ask for it.
Huh.
yeah,
And the next thing you know, there was a company called Act, and it was the number one contact manager. And they called me and said, we're
Wow.
looking for somebody in Canada. We're going to send you a box of software and put you in our catalog at the
wow.
time. I said, that sounds good. Nobody asked me whether I could use a computer or not.
Wow. Could you? Could you use a computer
Wow.
then? No.
But my wife at the time was used computers at work every day. She says, "Okay, we'll get a computer, load this up, and figure it out." And we did. And here we
Mm,
are today, right?
That's
I'm an
amazing. What a
MVP in the subject in the world of Microsoft. But the
yeah.
only reason I did that is because of attitude and to say, "Oh, I might
Hmm.
as well ask." And I kind
Hmm.
of do that today still. Why don't we ask? Right?
yeah,
So it's a
Yeah.
combination of networking and being outgoing and not being afraid to ask.
yeah.
So
That's
I don't
what,
know if this is what you guys wanted me to talk about, but this is what I love to talk
great.
about, right?
We
It's
love
great. Yeah.
we love talking about,
Yeah.
Yeah.
sales and
Yeah.
and all this. So many sales gurus over the years. That's a common theme, that they preach. Just ask. Like
Yes.
it's an amazing, powerful. Remember
Yeah.
one guy, Art Subchuck. Our goal is to name off our on the today to name off as many thought leaders as possible. Of Art Subchuck, he would give example after example after example of how he gets things just by saying, "Hi, do you think I could have this or that?" In such a polite
Yeah.
way. They're like, "Okay,"
Yeah.
There's a common.
I I fall
So I
down for
think what
I don't
we're getting to here is that, attitude's important, right? Your thought process, how you think about things, what you do,
Mhm.
is what it's all about. And find something that you do that you'd love, that you'd want to work on 24 hours a day and go.
Mm,
That's a good way to say it.
yeah.
Wow. Love it.
What was that, Troy? Or
No, I was just saying that whenever a young person, like I just had someone last week, young lady, I think the Hamilton area, reached out to me and she said, I'm just so curious about what you guys do. Would you be willing to talk to me for 30 minutes about that? And I was like, I almost fell on the floor because so few people ever reach out with that kind of a request. And like Kevin and I are like looking for sharp people all the time. And the opportunity would be so close to so many people who want to work if they're willing to work and a hard work ethic and attitude. We'd love to have them talk at least a little bit about what we do, and if there's a match, great. But so few do it, and can't figure out why. But more
I think I
Canadians, I think,
think
would be
I think they
successful.
learn how not to do it now.
mm,
Mm,
Nobody belongs to an association. Nobody belongs to an after work club.
mm,
I was going to Toastmasters, learning how to talk, speak in front of groups. I was, any kind of meeting, remember we used
yeah,
to have the Toronto Entrepreneurs Association at one time, right? Young entrepreneurs.
yeah.
Okay, I'll go there, right? So it's
right.
almost like that doesn't exist. Everything's online.
Mm,
Everybody's kind of chatting online, which even that is important, right? To be able to
Yeah,
do that. But I
for sure.
think to get out and to meet people and get to where they are is really a key to a lot of success.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, a lesson here is I do think I think people genuinely in this digital post-COVID loneliness kind of trying to do business virtually world
Mm,
crave real connection, authentic
mm,
relationships, authentic business relationships, like just crave it. Like
mm,
I know like Troy, you're saying that's what you're craving
mm,
and it's like that's what can make the difference is like what you're describing, Rick, is like
mm.
just being social and genuine and authentic and real and
Well, look at how many people are screaming because they want them to go back to work,
right.
want them to go back to the office.
Mm,
Like, I think we got stuck in this COVID mindset
Mm,
and
mm,
we just got stuck there. And
mm.
it's like, no, it's a good thing to go back to the office
mm,
It is.
just to interact with people. And
Mm,
there's
right.
one young lady I was talking to about a month ago said, I got to find a new job because we don't have an office anymore. I can't take it.
mm.
She goes,
Wow.
like, I want to move up. I don't even know who I need to talk to move up. Right?
Mm,
It's
Yeah.
just a bunch of square boxes on a Zoom call.
mm,
Yeah.
Right? So I think it's going to change again, and I think people are going to want to get back together and get into offices and interact with each other
mm.
to make
Yeah.
sure I'm not talking to an AI version of Troy and Kevin, that they're
Yeah.
real people.
You
Well,
actually
that's
downloaded
available,
it.
by the way. You're all welcome to.
That's right.
We have our AI coach.
Downloading my brain as we speak. So, yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure my download's going to be much smarter than I am, so
Yeah, it's true.
they won't believe it. Who's this guy?
Yeah.
Um,
Well, as what I was, I appreciate your, taking the time with us, Rick. What I was thinking about is all the people that we were mentioning, all those thought leaders, it's just a fraction of them. Anyone listening, Google all those people and consume them. That'll change your life. Right? Don't take our word from it. Take their word from it. Take your word
Mm,
from it after you consume all those people. But all of them, what they have in common is, like you were saying earlier, don't listen to the noise out there or what's going on in the world, and don't get consumed in all that. Get consumed with, and this is what all those people will
mm,
tell you, is get consumed with getting better.
mhm,
Get consumed with building your own competency, whether it's
mhm,
sales or
mhm,
leadership, how to social skills now today, Mark. Get consumed with that because that's what's going to make the day. Focus on that,
mm,
and that was, and all of them would tell you that. Like, build your own competence. Don't worry about. It's not anyone else's fault. It's not circumstances. It's not what's going on in the world. It's you. They would all say, right? And that's what I was
Yeah.
thinking about earlier as we were mentioning all these guys. You know.
yeah.
And if I can just say something, if you own a company out there, talk to Troy and Kevin about bringing this into your culture
Mhm,
because this is what I think corporations need to succeed, right?
mhm,
I think you really, our leaders today just they don't have the same foundation for leadership
mhm,
that I think they need. Everything's just fast moving and it
mm,
seems more cutthroat, where, that works in certain instances and certain times. But overall, especially if you're an entrepreneur, you need to build a team that you can
mm.
trust and that's going to work together. And I highly endorse what these guys are doing at Dale Carnegie.
Thanks,
Means
Rick.
a lot. Yeah. Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Appreciate that. Yeah.
And appreciate your time today. Thanks for being with us and sharing your wisdom and insight and successes, and wish you continued success.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you,
Great.
gentlemen. And let's go grab lunch sometime.
Right on.
Absolutely.
Do it.
All
Yeah.
right. Talk
Okay.
soon.
Thanks, Rick. All the best.